Hey there folks, and welcome back to the Icenia campaign. Last time we did a bunch of nation infrastructure stuff and talked about our future plans to go north into Brigantia, and said that this episode would be a big slave economy themed episode, but I think I will not do that. I've changed my mind. I am a pernicious man after all. Is that the right word? Pernicious? We're going to go with it. By the way, I am a little under the weather. I have a terrible headache and allergies like you wouldn't believe, so if you can understand my speech, which I'm not sure anyone can even normally, that's great to see. Hopefully, if you can't, you at least get the general gist of what I'm saying by my tone of voice through my my compromised nasal system. Anyways, hopefully that's fine. So instead of doing the slave stuff this episode, we're going to actually wait a bit longer and do it after we control the region. I think I will go back on my plan to just do it now, because we're going to get a lot of slaves from this war, and there's going to be more reason to move slaves around once we can basically do everything within the region without needing to worry about possible territory in the north. So we'll wait for the big post-Northern War status quo 2 episode, basically, to do that. That being said, what are we going to do now? Well, our actual levy can extend, or manpower can go up to 6.4 thousand, which is quite substantial. Our actual levy is at 5, and this army here, which I said before I will probably use for the Northern War, is not recovered yet and won't be for quite a while. I think it's 6,000 normally. So that's several years of recovery, which means this army, importantly, is not available for Brigantia to hire either. Now, in terms of what mercenaries they can bring, because I'm going to have about the same number of levied men as Brigantia, and Carwetia will have, I think, another 4 stack, so I'll be outnumbered against the two of them. So I'll need at least 1 mercenary force at minimum. I could try and get away with just Sanatiai's mercenaries, and I think I will go for that. I think this force plus my levy should outnumber the 2 enemy levies if we all score up in one big fight. Of course, the issue is they can, of course, split up into many small armies and scatter around everywhere, and I'll run around chasing them. But we'll deal with that when we deal with that. So what we're going to do is... how far away are we? We need to be... Let's see here. We need to be the 15th of July of... Wait, sorry. Looking at the wrong thing here. 275. Okay. Oh, I was looking at the Gregorian calendar. 15th of July. Did I mention that I'm under the weather? 15th of July. 479. So yeah, I think last episode even I made that comment. So we're just going to resume. Let's not worry too much about getting that going. And now we do have some more stuff to sell, a bunch of trade goods and whatnot that we can sell away to folks not on our island, ideally. Earthenware sells for quite a bit. It's going to make even more money. Love to see it. And what do we have here? Wait, hold on. Caledonians want horses. That's fine, actually, because the Caledonians are very far away from the Britannia region. We're not going to get in conflict with them anytime soon, hopefully. I suppose we'll see. Now, I also need to improve Londinium because of those missions. I need to have 100 political influence, and this is just the standard thing it's been all game, waiting around for political influence to increase. And we need to have a high civ level in Londinium. We need to have 40 civilization level in Londinium. And Londinium's current civ level is 31.57. It's going to get a little higher as centralization caps out, but it's not going to go too much higher. The actual civ max in Londinium will probably reach, if you look in the middle of that tooltip, I can't move my mouse to show you because then the tooltip goes away. In the middle part, the max is actually around 33, and then we can actually add up to potentially 6 more through buildings such as marketplaces. However, instead what I'm going to do in Londinium is actually build a port. I know that the game has been unpaused, that's fine. We are just waiting around until next year anyways. I'm building a port here, even though the port building actually doesn't give civ level bonus like some of these other buildings do. Because having Londinium have a port is really, really good, as it will now be a farmland settlement on the river, on the yeah, on the major river with a port, and this will enable us to, in the future, when we really want to, actually build a navy, as I've sort of alluded to. So we'll come back to that later. All right, Mandu Brachius Calatius died of dysentery. He was the clan chief of the Calatii clan. Okay, so this was the second clan chief after the older clan chief. This guy was actually not very old at all. Let's take a look at what's happening in the Calatii clan. This is the clan that's not liking our monarchist ways. This is the Republican Curious clan, so they're now being led... who are they being led by, actually? You're first in the list. That might just mean you're the oldest, though. I'm not entirely sure who's leading this clan, actually. Bertawenta and Andiatus. The researcher and the magistrate. I think it's you? Where does it say? I don't know. Oh, okay, hold on. It should say head of the family on the right person. Okay, no, not you. You? Who is the head of this family? No, not you. Is anybody here the family head? Why is this so hard to figure out? Was it actually you and I just missed it? Family prestige. I think it's this character, but I actually don't know for sure. I'm for some reason, this is weirdly hard to see. Maybe there's like a thing that says it somewhere. I don't know. Actually, I think there's literally a tooltip where it shows all the families. Yeah, okay, wait. No, it's not showing it here because they're not in the original 3 groups. Okay, so this is just a big mystery. I don't actually know who the family head is, but that's fine. So also, something I've just realized right now, I haven't been doing my War Council for the entire series, except for the first episode. I think that's been fine. I don't think there's ever been a situation where we needed a claim instantly and haven't just been able to do it through missions or through some other means, but let's remember that the War Council exists and may go away when we become a monarchy, so let's keep that in mind. We could also actually hold games and use our money to turn it into popularity for Donwyn. Now, the circumstance that we would do this, given that Donwyn is getting quite old, is to get her popularity tipped off in preparation for... Which of these things requires a super popular Donwyn? I think one of these required lots of popularity. Maybe not, actually. Am I misremembering? Was there something else that required popularity? Okay, I may be misremembering this reform requiring popularity for the leader somewhere. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, let's resume. The other thing, too, is I have decided that I will do... oh, hold on. We have a scorned family. The Calatii. Weren't you just in the government? Yeah, right? You were the Magister, weren't you? What's going on? Yeah, the Magister. Why are you not the Magister anymore? I don't know. I'll make your relative the Magister. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Anyways, I've also decided that I am not going to unify Britannia until after I become a monarchy. And that's because I did some research on the wiki, just because I figure with this stuff, it's good to do this in the right order, you know. And the Unite Britannia decision gives you different bonuses and different rewards if you're a tribe or if you're not a tribe. So if you're a tribe, it turns you into a federated tribe, which is a type of tribal government that's kind of in between tribe and not a tribe, such as monarchy or republic. However, if you're not a tribe and you do it, such as being a monarchy, which is what our plan will be, it will actually just give you 150 political influence, which normally may seem like kind of just the consolation prize for, oh, you're not a tribe, we thought you'd be a tribe, we'll just give you this instead. But actually, 150 political influence could be enormously huge for our PI's starved playstyle. So that reason alone is good enough to delay taking this decision, which of course doesn't go away if we're not a tribe, or does it? Kenya is a tribe. I think we get a different version of this decision if we're not a tribe. I'll need to relook at the wiki. Okay, this actually does say I need to be a tribe. Maybe the wiki is out of date. I don't know. That's not going to matter in this episode, so I will look at that in between episodes, but maybe everything I just said may no longer be true. That would be a shame if that were the case. Anyways, the port in Londinium is finished. Very good. So Londinium has the biggest population capacity on the block. Where do we see that? Pop capacity of 50. Truly insane. Londinium can fit everybody in it. And meanwhile, levy, yeah, 15th of July, that's right. So about 6 months away. We'll keep an eye on if the relationship they have with Carwetia starts to break down. They seem like they're going to be pretty fast friends. Ideally, they enter into some sort of war that distracts them, but the issue is neither of them border anybody else except for each other. So they're pretty secure up there. We're also going to wait, I think, actually, until this fortress finishes, just for extra safety. So we will go... Should I build a... No, this is not the permanent provincial capital, so never mind. And I am sticking with the idea of doing Lutodarum as the provincial capital there. Anyways, we will wait until this fort finishes at the start of 480. And wait until it gets a little... Well, I don't think we need it to build up the garrison. We can just go on in. Which means, probably in a few months, we should hire the mercs and get their morale going, so that when we start the war, they'll be at about full morale. I think it'll take them about 6 to 8 months to get to full morale. So I think let's hire the mercs now. We may overpay them a little. They may reach full morale before the start of February, but I think this is probably just the safer bet. We can afford to have them on retainer for a little bit here. Should be fine. Making sure that I'm recording. Yes, I am. That's a good thing to make sure of. So we're going to hire these mercenaries 100 gold as usual. It's going to cost us 4 per month. Our economy is so solid now, we can actually just keep these guys permanently hired if we were feeling quite bold, but no need to do that. Alright, let's go ahead. And where's this? Let me actually check something really quick. The mercenary cost modifier, mercenary cost maintenance. I don't know where that where this is determined from, and irritatingly, there's no tooltip to see this. The premium here. I think this just literally means this is the value of those units that I pay in monthly cost is 262% increased because they're mercenaries. I think that's literally what it means. It's not some other modifier. We've been dealing with this the whole game, so that's fine. All right, Welibia Sonata has been hired. Very good. Put you on the standard deception plan, and I suppose this is fine actually. All right, let's send you north. Let's send you to Salinae Cornoviorum. All right, looks good. And then in about 8 months or so, we'll start the war. Looking pretty solid so far. Could build more things in Londinium. I'm thinking perhaps a marketplace may be called for. Or we could build something else. Tax office could be okay as well. We have a fair bit of tax over here. Rente Canorum is still quite massive compared to Londinium, so Londinium needs to get its act together a little bit, population-wise. We could just force move tribesmen over here, but we kind of don't want a bunch of tribesmen there. Ideally, other characters of various values. By which what am I saying? We want other castes of population. So, let's see here. Build granaries. Could be good. Libraries are, of course, always quite good. Academies could be quite interesting, too. Academies give the most civilization level, so actually academies might be called for here, plus extra monthly civ change. And we're going to have these guys just stand up here and get their morale going. That's totally fine. One thing as well is, I think one of my provinces needed to have its thing changed. These guys here need to be changed, but it's going to cost a fair bit of political influence to pull that off. I think... I mean, these are both places we're going to take land in, so it may be totally fine to switch them over now. I think we'll leave it alone because acquisition of wealth is a really good policy anyways. Pillaged. A group of soldiers belonging to the army commanded by... Oh no, our mercenaries are doing some stuff. Libya has, while stationed on peaceful deployment, absconded in order to pillage the nearby settlement of Salinae Cornoviorum, which is where we sent them. What is more concerning is that Libya is refusing to punish her legions, citing their extreme loyalty as a reason. Jeez, come on. Can't you just stand around and not do this? We are left in the disagreeable position of having to choose between forcing our general to crucify her own soldiers or appearing weak and soft. We can't help but feel that Libya knows precisely what she is doing. So we could... So this is the mercenary leader, who's technically our general. So we could lose 449 manpower, which... For the rare first time ever in the series, actually losing manpower is probably fine with our very large manpower cap and decent manpower recovery rate from all those tribesmen. This would upset her loyalty, which is already at 100. We lose, or she loses popularity, which doesn't matter at all. That settlement gets some bad modifiers, or we could chance it with this lady. She might become more ambitious. Donwyn gets a bunch of negative modifiers, so I think we know what has to happen here. Will cost basically all that will happen effectively that we care about, because the looting happens either way. Is we're going to lose some manpower. That's fine. So you need to not do that, and don't you even think about depopulating this land. I will be very upset with you if you do. So I guess that's the downside of having mercenaries standing around, is they can just kind of destroy your land because they are jerks. So kind of annoying, but what can you do, really? Anyways, I was looking here at different things we could build in Londinium. I'm thinking, getting an academy here could be kind of interesting because it boosts up the civ level, and we do want to have more nobles in Londinium. So there's that. That being said, marketplaces with the pop assimilation speed, we have I think a fair number. Yeah, we actually have quite a few non-Iceni here in Londinium, and we're going to have more people moving to Londinium too. All right, also let's keep an eye on the time there, now that we're in a month where the Omen gets reapplied. So I think building a marketplace just makes too much sense. Yeah, extra pop assimilation speed is good. Plus, this will help to counter out the colony modifier that Londinium does have. Or does it? I guess it isn't a colony. I don't... Oh, yeah, I made Durawurnum a colony, not Londinium. That's right. Alright, no, hold on. Yes, I did that, yeah. I'm trying to remember, like, 15 parts ago what I was doing around here. Long ago when Contiacia was my enemy. What a time. Anyways, I think... I'm actually not sure where that minus 5% pop assimilation speed is coming from, but we're going to go ahead and I think build a marketplace. Even though the academy is maybe a longer-term good thing, because having nobles in our capital is good, well, what I'd really get from this is the pop assimilation speed is obviously handy, but at the same time, extra 1% civ level and the extra monthly civ change, and getting some nobles into Londinium. I have only a couple nobles in my whole nation, and if I can kind of centralize them in Londinium, especially when I'm no longer a tribe, we can actually really take advantage of what nobles produce. This is tough because we're in that transition period as we begin to start to abandon the tribal lifestyle, but we're not there yet, so those bonuses may not be good. I can always change my mind and like change buildings later. Let's just go for marketplace. Let's not overthink it too much, which is to say a lot for my style of play. Alright, fortress is done. I think it's time for war. And it looks like we're still fine. You're just allied with Carwetia. So, actually, ironically, for the first time ever, the Levy spawning in Londinium will put them further away than if they had spawned and went to Icenorum, but that's fine. Londinium is more central overall. Alright. Declare war. They'll bring in Carwetia just as a Hail Mary. Let's see if there's anyone around here, because our aggressive expansion is still pretty severe, so I don't think anyone will want to... Actually, they'll ally with us. We could ally with, like, the Caledonians, or... actually, those are the Caledonians. No, these are... Okay, so confusingly, in Caledonia is... Yeah, okay, this is Caledonia. This is Carnonakia. And this is Taxalia. We could ally with one of them and just have them distract the folks on the north. Which of these folks would I like to ally with the most? Well, I think the one who is the closest to coming to help are these folks. All of them are going to have the default 4-unit tiny levy. Or ally someone over on Ireland. What's this place called at the time? Irie? Well, it's called Ireland. Actually, hold on. I think it's called Hibernia, isn't it? Yeah, Hibernia. That's the Latin name for it, so we're going to call it Hibernia. Could ally one of these guys, but let's leave them alone. We're going to get dragged into Irish or Hibernian internal fighting if we do that. So these folks are all pretty static. They haven't moved at all from their starting positions, so we could ally Carnonakia just for the purpose of this war. We don't need to have them be a permanent ally. And even though they don't like us, they're probably pretty intimidated by us, so they're willing to ally with us. So the value of this is 100% just to distract the folks up here. Again, if they actually somehow defeat people or take territory up here, if we look at the region map mode, they can have all of this. I don't care about any of this right now, so all of this is totally free for them to take. I just want what's south of the border of Britannia's northern frontier. So I think we're going to do that. And I think we do have... look at our diplomacy here. We do actually have 2 diplomatic relations slots. For maximum northern distraction purposes, we could actually ally Carnonakia and also Taxalia, just to bring in 2 armies, actually 4 to 6 little armies that might combine together of AI derps to just run around and distract the folks in the north. I think we will do that. These alliances don't have to be permanent, but there's not really any other good alliance partners on the Isles for me right now. And allying people on the mainland is still not a great idea because I don't trust the AI to do naval invasions at all, so now we've got some actual allies, which is, I think, a first for a while. Yeah. Alright, and just in time for them to come into the war, we're going to call... Actually, we have to wait 1 more month. That's fine. Plus, the mercs aren't quite ready, so we'll wait for the mercs as well to hit 100. I want to send them in instantly. But where do I send them in instantly to? I think I just send them in to this northern part here and just try and just be around here and maybe just, like, control this area, get stuff under siege. There's not any forts around here that I can see. There's the one over here, of course, but yeah, should be pretty safe to just pull that off. And also on the 1st of October, don't let me forget, we know what has to happen there. Alright. Wait, 1 more month. Don't need to go in right now, but now these folks will come in, so that's handy. And you can move units across the uncolonized terrain, or the unpopulated terrain. That's totally fine. That won't pose an issue. These folks here are creeping their way towards 6,000, but I think they're not close enough that it's going to be an issue, and in a desperate situation, we can't always hire them ourselves and just kind of use them so the enemy can't hire them, because the enemy knows about them. The AI, I think, will prefer hiring mercenaries it can see. Those nations cannot necessarily see this mercenary stack down here. They can see them through the mercenary tab, but they can't see them directly, so I think they either can't hire them or they won't hire them first before mercs in their area. Alright, 98, that is close enough. We're going to go ahead and go for this. We're going to go to war with Brigantia, and we're going to take the Coritania region, which, lest we forget, is this part here. So perhaps we should actually come up to Assyrium first, maybe? No, this part's not very well fortified. Is their capital in Assyrium? Yes, it is. Actually, change of plans. We're going to relocate our force here up to the marsh and move towards Asurium at the start. This will delay the war a little tiny bit, but that's okay. It'll just cost maybe 10 gold or so, or 8 gold or so, in mercenary upkeep to do this move. And this way we can run at Asurium immediately and possibly take them out before they can do anything, and start the siege of Asurium. Asurium is going to be our war goal target, so there's a lot of value in getting that going initially. Then we can bring our levy up to try and reinforce when they come for the counterattack. Alright, 21st of May. Let's do it. The Second Northern War is beginning. Take Cortania. Here we go. My tribal chief, the Cortania local power of Carnonakia, has honored our military alliance and joined our invincible armies in the war versus Brigantia and Carwetia. Same with Takesalia. Very good. Alright, let's raise up the levy and get this going. Oh, now we have 7 folks. Wow. We really are spreading Iceni culture quite well here. I'm actually kind of pleased that my Iceni culture-only idea is actually paying off, because it's definitely a longer-term strategy as opposed to just integrating local cultures and getting those levies really quickly. This way, we don't have to deal with the cultural integration mechanics. We just have Iceni all over the place, and they're all coming in to build a big levy with a heavy infantry. Look at that. We actually have a heavy infantry appearing now for the first time, I think. That's real nice. This army should actually be able to take on each of these armies individually with no trouble. And we actually have all 3 of our folks appearing, indeed as I thought it is, Britta Wenda, rather, appearing as the leader of that clan, because she's the clan chief. Donwen's in charge. We're going to go ahead and give her envelopment, I think. Oops. Let's go ahead and set this up just for extra safety. Put the chariots on this. Well, chariots aren't actually very fast. Also have them flank, that's fine. Right, you have the interesting mixed army, light infantry and then heavy infantry. We'll put you on, shock action actually works for you. We'll have you attach. You with just the light infantry, that's totally fine. We'll put you on, let's see here. Put you on envelopment. Have you attach, and then who's left? Inimicus is left. Put you on envelopment as well. Same situation. This is a level. I don't know if I need to do this, but I'm doing it anyways. All right. And with that, Donwen now is leading the whole group around. Let's head on up, and you head on in. Here we go. And take it down to speed 2 for wartime. So I'm going to watch this closely. I think this is a 6,000 merc stack normally, so when it gets to 6,000, we need to be careful. Look at them flee. That's what I like to see. They can sneak around, and the fort zone of control, there's a... I mean, I can show you, actually. There is a problematic gap right here, so they can kind of sneak into my lands here. Once we get this all under control, that won't be there, but... I need to be a little careful, but my levies coming up will actually be able to close the gap a little bit, so that's totally fine. Alright, we got their fortress under siege, very good. So actually, since they're going there, I'm going to have you come up this way, because I think even combined, their army is going to be comparable. Their combined army is going to be comparable to my levy, but not much bigger, so I can probably freely make a run for Colunium. And importantly, my northern allies, who are getting going now finally, will distract the folks up here, so that's really important. I'm mostly looking for Carwetia to potentially send their army up north, but their capital is here, so their army is spawned here, so it may not go north. Either way, if these folks don't send their forces north, they'll at least lose territory and income with their northern territories being threatened. And if the Scots or these aren't really Scots, but if these sort of Pictish cultures manage to take over northern lands in the war, I might just give it to them, honestly. I would rather split up the lands here and give it to my allies than whatnot. Because really, like, I really do genuinely plan to stop for a while once I reach this border and not really have any more territory beyond... Ooh. Marketplace is done. Oh yeah, let's take them on there. Yeah, what I was saying is I really am fine not having territory outside of Britannia for a while I get Britannia kind of organized internally and transitioned out of the tribal state. Also 100% centralization, that's what you like to see. And I'd be fine actually giving territory to my northern allies and kind of setting up a sphere of influence in the north up here. Anyways, we'll deal with that. That's more long-term, but now we're actually at the point of thinking about that, which is kind of exciting. Also, approaching October, so let's not forget about that. We're going to go fight them in the woods, totally fine. Oops. We're the defender, too. Oh, we stack wipe them? Oh, that's brutal. Wow, I actually feel bad for them. All right, we're going to rush over to the provincial capital. So far, so good. This has been a really, really good start. I'm glad I'm using these mercenaries this way. Really, really handy. Oh, the Pictish navies, or I should call it correctly. I think this region is just called Caledonia. Yeah, Caledonia is Scotland, basically, and Hibernia is Ireland, so I should call them the Caledonians, to be fair, when I reference people in that culture group. The Caledonians are bringing their ships down for some naval action. Handy. Ah! Hello! He appeared out of nowhere. I actually got startled. Alright, I guess we'll go fight them in the hills. That's fine. Maybe another stack wipe incoming. That would be hilarious. Alright, they got more guys coming in. Let's see how this goes. These heavy infantry are really going to push they're really going to pull their weight quite well. Right, now they're going to attack me in the hills. I'm the defender. That's pretty ideal with their cavalry-only army there. Not the best army for the hills. And as one might expect, they lost a bunch of guys. Sucks for them. Keep going north. Yeah, with these... Oh, no! Shoot! Dang. Alright, I messed it up. I missed the 1st of October because of my combat prowess. What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to actually wait 5 years, and just on the 1st of October of 485, do it correctly, because it annoys me so much to have it be off from the 1st. So I knew it would happen eventually, and it's happened now while I'm under the weather, at least. That is a possible explanation for it. I'm under the weather and distracted by victory, so... Suffering from success, as they say. That's fine. We'll just let this hang here ominously. All it's affecting is I'm just not getting popularity for Donwin, which is what I would have picked otherwise, so... Not the biggest deal in the world, but we'll try to get that better next time. It's just going to look at me, and by extension you, while it's hanging there, so that's fine. Okay, it looks like their entire army is here. They're not going to defend the north at all, which is fine. This is really going to mess them up. And because we're all in the war together, this occupation by those guys will actually add to my war score, so that's really handy. If this were separate attacks by the Caledonians, this would actually be an issue because I might not be able to get enough war score to get what I want. But because these guys are occupying stuff, that helps our war score, so that's really handy. Alright, these guys might be coming... Where are they going to? Lawatrea. Well, I think they're going to try and lift the thing at Asurium, so we're going to probably need to reinforce that. So keep an eye on that population there. Let's not... Let's not chance it here. Move through the mountains to the hills. Or we could chance it and try and get this too very cheekily and then run back over to Asurium. I don't think we'll get there. Let's see, how far away am I from there? To where Beria it is. Let's not chance it here. I don't want to have a huge loss here at the very start. That would really mess up our momentum. Let's just go over to Asurium and hang out there. And oh, yeah. In fact, I don't even know how far away they are from Asurium, so let's really not chance it there. Now, critically, will the Caledonians siege this stuff down and not give it to me? Possibly, but hopefully they don't get any funny ideas about that. I don't want to have to do a third Northern War just because of my allies. Okay, I think the big stack split up, so that's handy. We'll move on in. Ugh. I'm annoyed about the Omen thing, but at this point, we're doing so well. Not getting the popularity for Donwyn is irritating, but not the end of the world, so... Okay, so... Actually, I think what I might do here is have the Mercenaries actually go and attack this army here. Because they can defeat that army on their own. And this is just a level 1 fort, so this is totally fine. Hopefully I'll scare them away from doing the siege, otherwise I'll just re-siege it. Okay, I think I'm going to scare most of them away. I'm scaring all of them away, that's what I wanted to see. I'll go fight them in... or I won't fight them. I'll try and fight them with the larger mercenary army while my smaller levy does the siege. I'm splitting them up, which is perfect. Alright, where are you going to? I think I'm going to go this way. I'm trying to draw this force back north, ideally. Okay, they're going this way? I don't know what they're thinking. They can't defeat the... They can't relieve the siege. They're too small. Let's just go take Galawa with the Mercs and see what the AI does in response. Okay, also, this is interesting. There's a lot of mercenaries that live up here who might be purchased by my enemies. We need to keep an eye on that. Or by my friends? Does this guy live in this place? These mercenaries all live, like, right here? Really? The mercenaries usually live in cities, so the one in Otadini makes sense. The one here is a little suspicious, but this one is really suspicious. They're not hired by anyone, so I don't know how else to explain it. Ah, well. Get this one down as well. Unless there's a big army like around here that I can't see that this is linking up with. I don't know what this army is doing. But we'll just have to just proceed. Actually, no. That army moved north. Okay, they're going to go fight the Scots now. Or, sorry, the Caledonians. That's fine. Let's just get this there. Got a bunch of slaves and whatnot. And they have a mine there too. Handy. This force shouldn't be able to threaten my siege. And it's going to move into the zone of control of Petuaria, which by now should have... Yeah, it has the full garrison by now. Should I just... I'm just going to go for the siege up here, honestly. Like, this will split my forces pretty severely, but this siege over here is actually nearing the beginning of the positive phase, so it should be good. And I think this is actually a good point to end the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Apologies for the Omen mishap there. I knew it was going to happen eventually, and honestly... This wasn't the worst time for it to happen because we're doing really, really well otherwise, and all we're losing is the popularity bonus, which Donwyn is already at max or near max popularity. If we had a new ruler, it might be a bit more of an issue, but it is what it is. In a few years, we'll get our Omen back on schedule, and it should be fine. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and next episode we will continue the Great Second Northern War. See you all next time.